So I'm here with Juliette and we are at the Green Gathering in Chepstow and we're going to discuss aspects of life, philosophy and the universe. So welcome, Juliette.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here with you.
Yeah, you too. So tell us your life story.
Oh God, that's a big one. Life story. Well, I started off my life as an actress, and I should say before that my mother was terminally ill with multiple sclerosis when I was a child.
Right.
From the age of 8, and she used nutrition as a big part of helping her through the MS, helping her to deal with some of the symptoms. And through that, I started to see how food could be used as a medicine.
Right.
Obviously at 8 and 9, I
Quite
wasn't
a young
aware
age,
of that fully,
yeah.
but I did obviously do the normal thing and rebel against it all. And then I found myself coming full circle and realising that actually everything that we do, everything we put in us affects us.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a pretty fundamental, massive thing when you think everything we ingest, including our thoughts,
Yeah. Yeah.
affects us and gets stored inside us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, this has really become a big part of my mission, is to really help bring this awareness to people that we are what we eat. Obviously, this has become quite common, but also we are what we absorb. So,
Including the land, including where we live.
Exactly.
The people we're with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's everything around us, you know, it's the Wi-Fi around us, you know, and it's also what we absorb from our gut. Because if our gut isn't working properly, we could be eating amazing food, but we're not going to be getting that.
So you can't process and transmute that energy for our use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's quite a big picture when you start looking at it all. And what I do, that's why I call what I do conscious nutrition.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about food.
It's very holistic, isn't it, what you're
Exactly.
talking about? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because also sometimes the root of someone's problem isn't actually food. It's what they think when they eat that food.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to look at things in a whole holistic way.
Have you got some examples of, you've obviously worked with many people, something really...
Yeah, so I worked with someone with candida that was quite severe, and what we found was going on, well, first of all, what was going on was they had injections, vaccines when they were little, and then they had an amalgam filling.
Right.
And their body was very sensitive energetically.
Yeah.
So the mercury caused a reaction in the body, and it was almost instantaneously from that point that the candida came into the body. And the reason it did, it was a healing crisis. It was the body's way of actually protecting itself from the mercury.
Yeah.
But until the mercury's gotten rid of, the candida can't be gotten rid of.
Right.
But also, what was added in at the same point, the person was a teenager, so they were then going through lots of their own stuff. And emotions then get trapped in there as well. So you have to detox from the emotions, you have to detox from the mercury, you have to detox from the candida. So, you know, it's not just let's get rid of this one aspect.
Sure.
It's a whole complete package.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's been amazing this weekend because being at the Green Gathering, I've been giving lots of talks here. And I really clicked into what my purpose as a conscious nutritionist is.
Is this your sole purpose moment?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun! Where are the bells?
There's plenty of them around here, and gongs and drums, especially when you're trying to do a talk. They start up. Yes.
They're sending out the cleansing energy through the land.
Absolutely, a bit of space clearing.
Yeah.
So your sole purpose, Julia?
So I've always known that my purpose was to heal through communication. Through communicating and talking to people, that's how I really work best. But what I learnt actually was taking it to a deeper level, was that we are all souls and we all have a divine purpose. You know, every single one of us has this divine purpose. And we're in this physical being. And in order to really allow our soul purpose to come through, we have to support this physical being. And as part of that, you know, a lot of us are really evolving and raising our vibration and trying to raise the people and the planet's vibration.
Yeah.
But if we're not raising our vibration physically by the foods that we eat and the way we're eating,
Yeah.
then we may be pulling in this great energy, but we can't sustain it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what you see quite often is healers or light workers or people in this kind of field who work really hard and then crash out and burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're burning out their adrenals, because they're not supporting it energetically and physically
Sure.
to deal with this mass energy coming in.
So are you aware of just a galactic Earth greater impulse of energy coming in at the moment
Yeah.
that is affecting most people?
Yeah, definitely. Whether people realise it or not, you know, more people are becoming sensitive to food. You know, I'm seeing more and more people coming to me with intolerances. I'm seeing more and more people coming to me who are really exhausted with adrenal fatigue. But I'm also seeing more and more people who are saying, "Oh, you know, I'm noticing that when I have this, I feel this, or when I do this, I'm feeling this. What's this about?" And it's because people are becoming sensitive to the Earth's energy more.
Right.
You know, you have this mass shift at the moment. You have real darkness in some areas, but then you've got such expansion of light.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, this expansion of light. And it is filtering into more and more people. You know, you see more and more people saying that I want to eat clean, I want to eat healthy, I don't want to do this, I want to have more of a pure body.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And on that's on an unconscious level. They don't realise that because they're pulling in this new energy, this new vibration, which means we don't want to be polluted.
And it's highlighting, let's call it the negative aspects of what we might be eating and or how we're living. And
Exactly.
So, and then we've got a choice then. Well, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Do we stay in the old paradigm or notch up a bit?
Exactly, and that's where I feel my role really is to empower people with these tools and say, you know, these foods are amazing to raise your vibration. You know, there are so many things in nature that just, it blows me away because nature has all the answers to everything, you know?
Yeah.
And when you really start to tune into that and look around you, the answer is always right in front of you.
in the plants and herbs.
Exactly. It was amazing. We moved house recently. We've been nomads for the last 2 years, which has been quite challenging. Amazing, but challenging. And we moved into a beautiful house in North Essex. And we walked into the garden and the first thing I saw was this beautiful medicinal mushroom, a tree bracket. And it was really special to me because I love the bracket mushrooms. You know because you've worked with me before, but they are my passion, medicinal mushrooms, or part of my passion. So to walk out and see this medicinal mushroom in my garden, I was like, and then I had to do some investigating to find out what it was.
Yeah.
And I found out that it was a type of reishi mushroom. Now, rishis are a very, very important mushroom. They're the queen of immortality, of longevity. And they usually come from China.
Okay.
But we have this artist bracket here, that's what it's called, and it's been here for thousands of years. And the Druids and the ancient people of our land used to use this.
Right. Are these different from magic mushrooms?
Oh, very different from magic mushrooms. I mean, they are magic in their own right, but they're not psychedelic kind of, you know, completely legal, completely, you know, normal. You're not going to have any adverse reactions taking them. And they are safe for everyone, which is incredible. But, you know, these are mushrooms that grow everywhere on our land. And with the bracket mushrooms, it's much safer because none of the bracket mushrooms, and when I mean the bracket, the ones that come off and look like a shelf on the tree.
Oh, yeah.
None of them are poisonous in this country.
So they always grow on trees?
Yes.
Yeah.
In this kind of shelf-like thing. And they're really hard.
I know the ones
like,
you mean,
I've got one actually over there. So these mushrooms have been used by our ancestors and by our land. And I think the best medicine often comes from our land. You know, there's some amazing medicine that comes from the other sides of the world, which is great too. But if we can really start to work with what's here in front of us, that is the vibration of where we are.
But how does that work if somebody comes from abroad and comes to England, for example?
Well, they're
How
in.
does that?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're in the vibration of this place now.
Okay, so that's still relevant
yeah,
for them
yeah.
because they're on the land now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so you're tuning in, you're part of this vibration. So you then need the vibrations that are around you.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some foods that we can't get here that are very important to us. You know, so it's about that balance, I think,
Yeah.
where we can use what's around us and really connect with nature. You know, because it's such a powerful thing.
So we're really talking about natural medicines for soul evolution.
Exactly. Oh, well done. You've just pinpointed.
Is that
my
your
thing.
phrase now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you don't mind.
Absolutely. That's going to be the title of our talk.
I love it.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Amazing.
Excellent. Fantastic. What about children and nutrition? 'Cause obviously we're aware that children coming in now have a much higher vibration and they strip monkeys off us. I mean, you know, they come into some of our workshops and you're talking about, you know, house whispering and space clearing, and the child sort of says something really basic and fundamental and kind of like strips you right out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of quite something. But
Yeah.
have you seen that with nutrition? And do they come in craving for the cheeseburger, you know, like my generation? Or
That's a really good point. What's happening is you have a lot of children who are coming in now, as you said, with this energy. It's almost a bit wild. You know, they're full. They're really full up. And this fullness needs to be supported nutritionally.
Yeah.
Massively needs to be supported.
Yeah.
Also, a controversial subject, but a lot of these children who are very psychic and very open are being shut down very early
Yeah,
because of the heavy metals that are being put into their system through
Sure,
vaccinations and things
sure.
like that when they're too young and their gut can't cope with it.
But also by the parents being either consciously aware or not, saying, "Don't be silly, darling. You're just imagining it." Yeah, which is certainly a lot of people I work with. They realise they're aware of energies or spirit energies, but they were trained or told to shut them down when they were children.
Definitely, that is a
it
huge
goes
part.
back to your thinking is as much of a
Definitely.
problem.
And also, you know, if there's an issue around food, you know, if you make it a drama, then that gets stored in those children as well.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky situation with children because you've got to try and teach them and educate them about what they should be eating, what's good for them. But also when they start interacting with other children and going to school and things like that, you lose that control. But you have to also give them that freedom to explore and expand. You know, and I think about my life, and I think about how the fact that I was brought up with a very strict vegetarian diet from the age of 8 on for a while, because my mother was sick. So she put all the things in practice that she was doing for her, for us.
Right.
And then I got to teenage years and I was like, yeah, right, I'm not going to eat that stuff. I'm going to go and live on McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
Not quite that severe, but you know,
I got a little bit worried there, Juliette.
I did rebel and I did go and have loads of junk food.
Yeah.
But I came back to that point of education. So I think if we can teach children the principles behind why they have to do this stuff, then yes, they may rebel, but they'll come back to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also it's about trusting that child as well and what they need, because so often it's like my littlest one, he goes through phases where he'll just eat avocados and he'll want nothing but avocados.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll eat so many of them, and then he'll suddenly get bored of avocados, and he'll move on to blueberries. That's it, I just want blueberries. And then it's raspberries, and then maybe it's blackberries, or then it's oats. And he switches, because nutritionally that's what his body needs.
And
he's listening. He's not like, you know, as we get older we start to tune all that out. And instead what we listen to, which is very interesting, is the parasites and the bad bacteria in our system talking. Because in our gut we have 100 million neurons, okay? It's a lot of neurons.
On the last count.
And all those neurons are communicating directly to our brain. So the gut is known as your second brain.
Right.
So what's happening is that if you've got a bacterial imbalance or if you've got parasites, they are craving certain foods because they need to live. Sugars, wheats, yeast, that kind of thing.
And then we think it's us that want
Exactly.
or need
So
or
we
crave.
get, oh, I really want some
wow.
sugar. I really want some sugar. So, but it's not us talking.
That's fascinating.
It's actually this bacterial imbalance or these parasites that are communicating.
You know, this is kind of a bit like when I'm working with people and they've got, you know, some strange energies in their home.
Yeah.
And I have to be clear, who am I talking to? You know, is it the original soul of the owner living there? Or is it that spirit energy or entity energy talking through them? And kind of this is maybe where multiple personalities kind of kick in. So yeah, it's good to know who's talking through you.
Exactly. And that's part of my
extraordinary.
mission, is to really teach people to listen to themselves. Not to listen to me per se, but to listen to themselves.
Yeah,
Because your body has the answers to what you need in this moment.
Absolutely.
And the cleaner you can get your system, the more balanced you can get the system, the more you can hear it talking.
Yeah.
And the more you can go, I need celery. Maybe I'm sodium deficient, you know, because
Absolutely.
celery is high in sodium. You know, I'm craving carrots. Okay, maybe you need a bit more beta carotene. You know, so we can listen to the flows, the natural rhythms of our body's need for different vitamins and minerals.
So really, there's no such thing as a fixed diet for everyone.
No.
Which, you know, all these fads and diets that keep coming out, the this diet, the that diet, you know, which has always felt a bit constructed. But what you're saying is it's so individual, not just to the person, but in that moment.
Exactly.
On that day.
Exactly. So I might do a consultation with you and test you using muscle testing and come up with a plan. This is what you can eat now and this is what you can't. This is what your body wants to do.
Yeah.
But that, if you put all those things into place and you sort out whatever issue's going on nutritionally, that might change. It most likely will change in a month or 2 months. And then you can eat a different set of foods.
Absolutely.
So it's about that listening to what you actually need. And you know, it's so fundamental. It really is, because we do, so for women, for example, we go through these hormonal peaks and troughs, and at different times we need different nutrients to support that flow of energy. Men go through a similar kind of cycle, and again they need different things to support them through that monthly cycle. Also, we need different things to support us through the seasonal cycle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, and depending on where you're living, in the winter obviously we need different kinds of foods for our body to the summer. So it's about going with your internal cycle, the cycle of the land and the cycle of the earth, you know, and the cycle of the moon, which is so important.
Wow, that's extraordinary. Wow. I think there's so much more to talk about. I think we'll have to do another episode.
Definitely. I always love
Wonderful.
talking to you, Christian. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you. It's a pleasure.
Absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you, Juliette.
Thank you.
Natural medicines for soul evolution. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.